Hello everyone, today in this video we are going to discuss about the kingdom Plantae and the topic Angiosperm. So Angiosperm are another group of plant, or you can say the fifth division of the kingdom Plantae. These Angiosperm are seed bearing plants. The seeds are enclosed within an ovary, and these angiospermic plants are also known as flowering plant as they have the flower as their reproductive structure, right? And apart from that, this angiosperm plant is further classified under two major classes, and that is number one, monocotyledon, monocot, and secondly dicot, or monocotyledon, you can say monocotyledon and dicotyledon. So these are the further classification, you can say, or the two major class of the division Angiosperm. So as I said, this angiospermic plant, they bear seeds and which are enclosed within an ovary, and they have the flower as their reproductive structure. So unlike other groups of plant which do not have a proper or a true root system, vascular system, or they do not have well-defined reproductive structure. But in case of Angiosperm, they are highly differentiated in terms of their body parts as root, stem, branches, leaves, flowers, etc. So in case of their further division as monocot and dicot, here cotyledon means the seed leaf. Cotyledon means seed leaf. So the seed leaf, or the future plant which is going to be, it will have either a single seed leaf, or it will have a double seed leaf. So based on that, they are classified as monocotyledon and dicotyledon. For example, in case of monocot, you can easily identify them with the help of their leaf structure. If they have parallel veins, they are monocots. For example, bamboo, banana, grass, paddy, etc. Whereas if they have a reticulate venation in their leaf structure, so it's shows, or it's obvious that they are dicot plants, including chickpea, mango, papaya, etc. Now, apart from that, as I said, the angiosperm are unique to its own in terms of having a reproductive structure in the form of flower. So this flower, either it can be a bisexual flower containing both the stamen and pistil together in the same flower, or it can be in two different flowers, one bearing the stamen and other as pistil. So such type of plant are known as dioecious plant or dioecious tree, where the plants or the tree bear either a male flower or a female flower. And these angiosperm are widespread in nature. They are of diverse form in various sizes, including the herbs, shrubs and trees. Some can be as tiny as wolffia, or it can be as tall as eucalyptus. So apart from that, the angiosperm, one of their unique characteristic is the double fertilization, that is the process of sexual reproduction. So during double fertilization, during the time of pollen germination, two male gametes are released and they fertilize, one of them fertilizes the egg and the other fertilizes the polar nucleus. Now I am going to explain about double fertilization in a flowering plant with the help of a diagram. So to explain this, first let me draw a typical structure of a pistil. A pistil contains a stigma, a style and an ovary. So the ovary is the bulging part, spherical and bulging part of a pistil. So it contains a receptive stigma, a style and an ovary. So during pollination, when the pollen grains are mature, it gets released from its anther, and various agents carry them to the stigma. It may be wind, water, or any insects and other animals. So for pollination to occur, the pollen grain, they land on the stigma. So many different types of pollen grains may come and land on stigma, but only the correct type of pollen grains will germinate, not any pollen grains, right? So and to achieve this, or to achieve this specificity, there is a continuous interaction, you can say, or a continuous dialogue is continued in between of the pollen grain and the receptive stigma. So that dialogue is in the form of chemical dialogue, and once right type of pollen grain lands on it, it will start to germinate the pollen tube. So along the germination of the pollen tube, it releases two male gametes, right? So it releases two male gametes, as gametes are always haploid, right? That is, they have only the half number of chromosomes. Now let us see the structure inside the ovary. So inside the ovary there is an embryo sac, and an ovule, right? So, and this ovule contains an egg. Let me show this with black color. So it contains an egg, two polar nuclei, right? So this is an egg, this is polar nuclei, and there are other structure, that is two synergies. These are synergies, and three antipodal cells. These are antipodal cells, right? Now, so as the pollen tube is growing down towards the ovule, and it will reach in the ovule towards its micropylar end, right? And along the pollen tube, these two male gametes will also come down, and once it reaches the ovule, it will enter through the micropylar end, and one of the male gamete will fuse with the egg, right? So this fusion is known as, which I have shown with you with this circle, this is known as syngamy. So this syngamy will result in a diploid zygote, right? So this is the first fertilization. As you know, the meaning of fertilization, that is the fusion of two gametes, one male and female. So the first male gamete will fuse with the egg, which is known as syngamy, and it will result in the formation of a diploid zygote. On the other hand, the other male gamete will enter the ovule and it will fertilize with the polar nuclei, right? This also I am showing with this circle. And this is our second fertilization, which is known as triple fusion. So this triple fusion will lead to the formation of a primary angiosperm nucleus, which is a triploid cell. Triploid cell means fusion of three haploid cells. As we know here, two polar nuclei, both of them are haploid. So 1, 2, 3. Three haploid cell fuses and forms a primary angiosperm nucleus, which is a nourishing tissue. Now here, as you can see, the fertilization occurs twice. So this characteristic feature of an angiospermic plant is unique to itself, and this is why it is known as double fertilization, as fertilization occurs twice. Here, the first fertilization will lead to the formation of zygote, and this zygote will later develop into an embryo, and this embryo, upon the germination of seed, will become the future plant. On the other hand, the primary angiosperm nucleus, as I said, it is a nourishing tissue which will help in the nourishment of the growing zygote into an embryo, and also it will nourish the embryo until it gets dispersed, and also until it gets germinated, when it will get favorable conditions. Now here, as the triple fusion leads to the formation of primary endosperm nucleus. Example of this you can see in coconut fruit. The water that is present inside the coconut is nothing but the endosperm cells or the tissue that nourishes the growing embryo. So this embryo, when it will germinate, it will either have a single cotyledon or it will have a double cotyledon. So based on that, it will be classified as monocot and dicot plants, right? And as I already mentioned how to identify a monocot and a dicot plants by looking at its leaf structure, right? So in this way, the life cycle of an angiospermic plant continues from producing the flower, then fertilization, and then conversion of ovule into seed and the ovary into fruit. So this is what happens after fertilization. The other parts of the flower, such as the receptacle or the calyx, the other parts, even the petals, they get shed off or they are dehisced from the flower, and the ovule which is present inside the ovary will change into, here let me write it, the ovule will change into seed and the ovary will change into fruit. So in this way the seed is enclosed within an ovary which will be converted into a fruit, right? So this is how the life cycle is continued in case of an angiospermic plant, right? So with this I end my discussion. So this is what is about angiospermic plant or the angiosperm. They provide us many different products, including medicine, food, fodder, timber, etc. And also, of course, they help in maintaining our ecosystem. In fact, they are the main source of oxygen in the atmosphere. You can see the amount of oxygen and carbon dioxide is balanced due to plants, not only angiosperm, but of course the kingdom Plantae as a whole, right? So with this I end my discussion here. I hope this video will help you in understanding the concept, and I hope that my explanation is comfortable to understand. I mean, it's comfortable for you to understand. So with this I end my lecture. So thank you so much. Bye bye.